she had all the qualities I wanted. We had everything in common, except for when it came to the bedroom. There was certain stuff that she didn't like to do that I couldn't live without. I was like, okay, you know what? We're not compatible. Because while sex isn't the most important thing in a relationship, it is something that's very important. And you can't discredit the importance of sex in a relationship, or you're not going to have a happy relationship.
Yeah, and that's amazing that you know what you really need, and could communicate it, and could be okay if it didn't happen and wasn't going to happen. Yeah.
And we're still friends to this day. It's just we don't have sex because we're not compatible there.
I did get a couple messages just now. So one was, as you get older, if I guess older women I've heard they say it's too dry down there. They have no feeling down there anymore. Is that true, or they're just not trying to do it much? Because I've done security for senior homes, and I've heard the rumpus. I'm like, that is amazing. What's going on here? That I've heard also that there's no feeling anymore, and it's dried up, and
no.
Yeah, that means there's a sexual problem that you're not really trying to address, right?
So there's definitely feeling. I just went through menopause myself, and there's
amazing. That means you're
53.
Wow, you look really young, and that's amazing that you can't have kids right now.
Yes, it's kind of
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That was funny. I was out with some friends, some kind of outrageous people, and they're like, "What's your birth control method?" And I'm like, "Menopause."
I love it.
Amazing.
But yeah, so.
But the dryness is a thing for sure. And there's there's lube. There's taking longer. More foreplay. There are all kinds of ways to do that.
So there's not the loss of desire then?
No. And does it lessen? I mean, it's early days for me because I'm only 53, but there's a great article in the New York Times talking about old people and sex. And as you found,
because I am talking about older, like I'm talking about
70s, 80s.
I mean, that's my method of birth control. I only date women who've gone through menopause. So
Yeah. Because one thing I didn't know until I started interviewing men was how afraid men are of getting women pregnant.
What? Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, it has a big impact.
So there's other men that feel that way?
Oh yeah.
It's frightening.
Yeah.
It's frightening that a kid can come out of sex.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Like I just I get shivers thinking about it. I mean that a kid can be born out of sex, and I don't understand why people want to have so much sex knowing this. I mean, so much can get pregnant sex. The pull-out method? What the hell's wrong with guys?
Yes.
I have 3 kids, and I should have named them after the condoms that broke. But yeah, no, I had 3 kids before I was 25. I spent most of my 20s and 30s just raising kids.
You've had a lot of learning in life.
And it's eye-opening, definitely, but I mean, my boys were easier. All they like to do is jerk off and get dirty. I can guide them through that. My daughter's a different person every fucking day. She's 20 years old. I don't think I've ever met her. I don't know what's going on. It's so, and all because all of that happened. And I hope my children are listening, but all of that happened because of a mistake.
If it's the one thing my dad left me with, it was not have kids. He left when I was 1, and he never had kids. In fact, he called his wife's kids his, but obviously weren't. But he met them in their 20s. So then I realized, this guy didn't want kids. He left when I was 1. He was like, I'm out of here. And I was planned, too. He was like, yeah, good idea. Let's have kids. And then he had a kid, and he was like,
fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Yeah, I'm out of here. Yeah.
My dad did the same thing, except his decision was more based on meth. But yeah, my dad kicked rocks when I was 10. I didn't see him again until I was about 27.
Gosh, isn't that weird? Meth equals kids a lot of times, but
right? It's amazing how many drugs equal kids.
Sex and drugs. I mean, okay, sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Forget about birth control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to add that: sex, drugs, rock and roll, and
And
birth control.
It even rhymes.
But you just don't think about that at the time.
Yeah. Well, both my brother and I were born pre-Roe v. Wade, and that's how we got here, was an accident. And my father loved to tell me that he got a vasectomy the day after I was born. And he had to fight for it because he was 23, and the doctors were like, "Wait, you might want to have more kids." He's like, "Nope."
Nah.
How trustworthy is the abortion pills?
Very.
Very.
Okay.
I like to call it breakfast in bed.
Okay. Yeah, you get like we crush. Oh wait, can you put that in a drink?
Ooh,
Drink
ooh,
form?
dicey.
I mean, you can, but you shouldn't.
I mean, I
I
went.
think that would. I think if the woman decided to press charges, you probably get locked up for murder on that one.
I mean, I'm talking consensually,
I mean, consensually, absolutely, yeah.
but I mean, it's not. I mean, wait, hey, that would be a trick on me though if the person's like trying to have the kids, I mean, but yeah, yeah, they might be allergic to the birth control pills, and you put it in their drink. Yeah, that could be bad. Oh yeah, I got another message, but I think I think it's an easy one. Wants to know what is sexual orientation. What's the orientation part? Is an explanation for that? I mean, I don't know.
See, I'm
conservative
old
audience
school.
here.
I'm very much old school. I was born in the '80s, and I think we forgot as a species. We are very call it as you see it. We name things as we see it. We call things as we see it. I don't believe I think there's straight, gay, bisexual, and then the rest are just like, okay, it's what you want. Like whatever you want to do, I'm happy for you. Like pansexual, all that. It's like I don't understand it,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
if that's what you like, awesome. But I don't see it as an orientation. Like just me myself, because I've been conditioned as growing up to thinking that there's only these main sexual orientations, these main genders, and like this is what I grew up with. This is what I was taught. This is, trying to relearn everything. I'm not gonna go through it. Honestly, I don't care enough much to go through it. I'll respect it, but I'm not gonna go.
So the amazing thing is you're not hating. You're
No,
just
I
you're just
have
like
no hate
I
for
don't
it.
understand it,
No
so
hate
respect.
whatsoever.
It sounds like it's hard. It's hard to wrap your brain around the new words and what they mean.
It's not that it's hard for me to wrap my brain around it. It's that the overflow of it. There's so many new words. There's so many new genders. There's so many new orientations. It's like, all right, now you're just nitpicking. Like, can we just say you like what you like and move on?
So I think to your point, as humans, we really like to categorize things and have words for things.
We do.
And I think we're all trying, and many of us hopefully are trying to be more inclusive and not say, oh, there are two kinds of people, straight and gay. There are a whole bunch of kinds of people in the world, and the people are trying to be more inclusive of themselves. And so one thing is asexuals. Right?
That is a different. Yeah.
That's a whole.
I have asexual friends, and I just wonder how they fit in the LGBT community, because they're all about going to events and all that stuff, and they feel that that's people they fit in with. But I'm like, I would feel like that would be just so different. I feel like that in a way. Like if I'm not feeling the person, I feel like I could relate to those people a little more. But I get, I guess they're totally not into sex, though. That's the difference. But how do they fit in with the community being more, everyone else is more sex-centered?
Sex all the time. Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like society itself is very sexualized. Everything, like sex sells everything. Sex kind of is. I mean, I've seen Pepsi commercials on on channels where all it is just girls in bikinis and bathtubs, and it's like they don't show the product until the end of the commercial. It's like Pepsi, all right. It's like that was a Pepsi commercial. All right, that's awesome.
And I think that's why people are so keen on the words, because having a word helps them push back on the dominant society that says, no, everyone wants sex all the time. And if you create a word that says, oh no, there's actually this class of people called asexuals, then it puts it in our brains that, oh wait, everybody doesn't want sex all the time.
Yeah.
It's, like I said, for me, it's the like I said, I was grown, raised to with the knowledge that I have is the knowledge that I have, and I'm not gonna hate anybody for thinking differently or wanting differently or doing differently. I encourage everybody to do what makes them happy, but please don't ridicule me or cancel me or make me feel like I'm an asshole because I'm not learning your terms. And I would, like I said, I'll respect it. Like if I had an altercation with a trans person who head to toe looked like a male. Looked like a male, and I said, "Hello, sir. How you doing?"
Ooh.
And they pounced on me right there. Like, I'm not a sir. I identify as a woman. I don't know. I'm like, I didn't know. I'm sorry. Now that you told me, I'll call you what you want to be called. I didn't know beforehand. So why are you jumping down my throat? And I think that's the problem is people want to be automatically jumping down people's throat with it instead of saying, hey, look, I identify as this. Can you call me this from now on? Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
I got a message. My partner wants sex more than I do. What should I do?
Oof. That is the most common issue. If I were to guess at percentages, I would say it's like 80% of couples have mismatched desire.
Is that message from a male or female? Do you know?
A female.
Female?
Doesn't even matter.
Really?
Yeah.
I would say that females are in a relationship that don't want sex as much as their male partners. I would say it's something that the male is doing. Because I'm a firm believer that women want sex just as much as men do.
I think, and I think here we don't even need gender so much. In the aggregate, I do think women have a lower sex drive than men, but on an individual basis, there are women who want it every day and men who want it, once every month.
Right.
I think I find a lot of times, being men, it's not that dominance. Like you feel like you have to. Like, I mean, if she says no and not tonight, you might still not want it to. You might be like, yeah, I'm cool. I mean, you could be, but inside you're like, what you mean not tonight? I gotta dominate that. Like as a man, I think a lot of men base sex on we gotta conquer.
A lot of that masculinity has been driven out of men. A lot of we used to be
A little too much, maybe in a way.
We used to be. It's like, that's why a lot of men they've taken the masculinity out and they've polished it over with the whole polyamory thing now. So it used to be men just wanted to conquer women, and that's why they'd go out and cheat, and that's why they'd go out.
There's no balance. You said polyamory, and that's just like poly and threesomes, like.
Then they glossed over. They prettied it up, and they made polyamory. Now it's just like.
I mean, I get it. I feel like that. Yeah, it could be hard getting to know that one person, putting in the work, but I do not see how these relationships, polyamory, and then I put in the people that want threesomes because I feel like it kind of correlates a little bit. I mean, it's there. How do you not have jealous moments of the other person that you just brought into that situation?
There's so much here. I don't even know where to begin. So I identify as poly, and I totally want to get to
Okay,
that.
okay, tell us
And
about
first,
that.
I want to talk about Ryan's comment about men being afraid now to express desire. And I think we've gone from a place where men express their desire and like, we want something, we're gonna take it, don't really care what you want, women. And now we've gone to a place where they're like, oh my God, I can't express desire. And what I love in a man, so we have these two poles now, can't express it, and just, express it without caring about what the woman wants. And what I love is a man who is in his desire and is like, yes, I want you. And also allows me to want, and to express what I want and don't want. So he's very kind of contained with his desire and expresses it. And he's like, hey, I want this. What do you want? And I can say yes or no. And then if I say no, he's like, cool, see you around. And if it's yes, then, game on.
And see, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Like, if you're expressing your desire, you have to let the other person. You have to give room for that other person to desire you as well. The only problem with that is that over the past, I'd say 10 years, men have changed a lot. Have been almost forced to change a lot because
More messages.
Women have had this uprising, like almost as far as like their dominance and their this whole girl power and all this stuff. And hey, I'm for it, great, but it's taken a lot of that. It's put a lot of fear into men as being able to like express desire or even walk up to a woman that they think is attractive and say, hi, my name's Ryan, how are you doing? And because they're so afraid of being Me Too'd or anything, that's been going on in the culture now. Like it almost feels like men have to walk on eggshells now, but still have to try to be desirable, and it's a very, very thin line to walk.
Oh, Rachel, would this be a thing for what he's saying, that you can still do that? What he's saying, you walk up and talk to the woman, but when you get a sense that she's not interested, run away. Wait, no.
Yeah.
Scurry away.
Yeah. So, and I think, and here's where, to your
Or maybe
point,
throw your number
if men
at her.
are really attuned to what they're seeing, great. But we've also kind of beaten the emotion and attunement out of little boys, and so they grow up not really being attuned to emotion.
Right.
And I also want to say I understand that. I understand the fear, and I think with any social change, there's like the pendulum swings, right?
Yeah.
From women being submissive and saying nothing to women being really fucking angry. Can I swear?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Free speech. Go for it.
Really fucking pissed.
Yeah.
And
she loves that
sensitive. And so a number of women can be really triggered by a lot because we've been so suppressed for so long. Now we're like, fuck you, I'm not taking anything from anyone. And so there is this pendulum swinging.
And I think not only that, it's I've noticed in a lot of relationships that I've been in, the woman will not only take that aggression that she has for you, like if you do something that she doesn't like, but she'll group that in with the aggression that she has from everything else that everybody's done to her.
Yeah.
And
trauma.
And she'll use that to ruin your life in a sense, to where like she will tell everybody that you are this, that, and the other thing, a piece of shit. And with social media now, if that gets out, you're screwed. You are absolutely 100% screwed. Like it's a wrap for you. Change your name, change your face, get a different life, because your whole world is just screwed now.
I was once told from because like you said, past someone is from past situations. I was once told to choke, and I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. I like choke more. I was like, whoa, hold on, what the hell? Oh, you're like dying here. And then I was told, punch me. I was like, whoa, yeah, this isn't me. This is me. Where we going with this? Like, punch me, and like beat me up. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I gotta go for a walk. Yeah,
I've heard that from men too, and they're afraid. There are women who like choking, punching, cool.
Yeah.
But
Nah,
men
I can't.
are afraid for good reason. You gotta have a lot of trust and talking and consent in that.
I've been in the same position. I've been like a woman tells me to throw a choke on her, and I'm doing it, and I see like her eyes rolling back in her head, and I start to let up, and she grabs me and puts me back. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm starting to work out the 911 call in my head. I'm like, what's going on? And
Get your alibis ready.
right, It's
But
like-
that's what's powerful about women that I love. Because, yeah, we got to go. Get your alibis ready. Oh, my gosh, this could turn bad. You know, I still love that about women because that's the power that the women have. We can't do that as much. Plus, yeah, we have it geared in us to where it's not the thing to do. I did get a message, from a woman. I'm a woman, and I'm having dreams about sleeping with other women and having sex with them. Am I bisexual now? Because I'm having these thoughts. Just these are
I
gearing.
don't know that.
I would say bi-curious maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Bi-curious, but like I think being bisexual requires you to actually do the act.